Hello and welcome to your weekly dose of Mum Motivation. My name is Veena V and welcome to the Mum To Millionaire podcast. Today on the show, you are going to love this episode so much. It's with the amazing Lisa Hawkyard, the founder of Absolute Life System. She's an amazing mindset coach and she just so happens to be the mum of Louisa Johnson. Now, if you don't know who she is, Google her because she is one of the most amazing singers we've got straight out of the UK right now. She won X Factor, I think it was about 2 years ago now, and she's just blowing up everywhere. Now, obviously that's incredible, but away from all the glitz and glam of the music side, and I really want people to understand this, behind every successful person you see, there's always usually a team of people behind them, and in this case, it is this you are going to love her. Lisa, she has mapped her children's way to success and now finally, I'm so happy she's doing it, now she's finally working on herself. And I think us mums, we do this a lot. We all do this. We're all guilty of this. There's nothing wrong with us putting so much time and energy into our children. But what about us? We need to excel in our businesses if you've got one, or in just in your own life in general. You need to be investing in yourself. And that's why I think this episode of the podcast is so fascinating, because Lisa's mapped her children's way to success and now finally she's mapping her own future, her own way to success. So you're going to take loads of inspiration and motivation. Without further ado, let's get into this. This is episode 50 of the Mum To Millionaire podcast. Hey, it's Veena V, online entrepreneur, and here to help you to become more confident and creative with using YouTube. I'm also the founder of Mum To Millionaire, and I literally cannot wait to introduce you to this lovely lady. She is amazing. She's inspirational. She's a mum of two, also a stepmom of one, the founder of Absolute Life System, and she also just so happens to have given birth, I hate saying that, it's really weird, like given birth, to one of the most talented singers in the UK right now. Please welcome to the show, Lisa Hawkyard.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming into my house.
You're welcome. What a lovely build-up.
It's just amazing what you have done for your children and in your own life. And I think I want you just to share what you have done, your inspiration and tips for everyone watching this right now. Before we get into that, just tell us more about your life as a mum.
I was a single mum from my daughter being about 3.5 until about 8 years ago when I met my partner, and it wasn't easy. You know, you want the best for your children. Whatever happens, you want the best for your children. And if I'm truthful, I just felt I kind of let them down a little bit. So I was even more determined to kind of make it work. And I wanted them to know that it's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But if you want something, you just work your way towards it, or you have goals. And I didn't know really what I know now. I didn't know then, but I was putting it into action without even knowing. But now I've studied it.
You understand what you were doing. I
understand the process, and that's why I want to kind of pass it on to other people. It doesn't. Nobody has to be a single parent, but it could be anybody, and it's just about building your confidence and just actually realizing that if you're okay, your children actually will be absolutely fine.
What is the truth as well? Because a lot of people, I think, see single parents, and I think if you're not, I don't want to make this all about being a single parent, but if you're not a single parent, sometimes you don't understand how difficult it can be. Did it get difficult for you at times? Because your children are very close in age and you were obviously trying to work at the same time. So how did you manage all of that?
I think it was a case of, have you ever heard the thing about spinning plates all at the same time? So spin that one a little bit, spin this one a little bit, spin that one. I think it was about checking that their needs first, making sure that they were happy doing what they wanted to do within reason, because it's got to kind of all fit together. And also making sure that I was happy as well. Because it's very, very easy as any parent, take away the single parent thing. Any parent, it's hard to make sure everything ticks and balances at the same time. With my two, obviously I've got a boy and a girl as well, so there was that, which again, any family, the girls go off dancing and the boys go off to football, or then the girls want to do football and the boys want to go off somewhere else. It's kind of tricky to get it all going, but I think it's prioritising. It's like prioritising what's really actually important to you in your unit and what works. And
I'm so glad you said about yourself, because so many
important.
parents forget to look after themselves.
Veena, I didn't at the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was all very much like following what I had been brought up to do.
Yeah.
It's like you just keep going and going and going for your kids, but at some point you do actually have to stop treading water and actually allow yourself to go with things. You know, there's a great phrase about going with the waves. Don't fight the waves. Surf with the waves.
Yeah.
And I kind of again started to do that. You know, get myself even going for a walk. Just in 10 minutes, just something that just go, right, do you know what? I'm just going to go and do this for me. And then once you start realising that you actually have got time for yourself, then that's when your brain starts to tick and you actually know you can do something else.
Yeah, exactly. Getting out of that mummy mode, I think sometimes. When you're always constantly in it. Seriously, it's like you said, even going for that walk for 10 minutes, I think makes such a difference.
Yeah, massively.
Such a difference.
Yeah. Massively.
Okay, let's talk about the most exciting bit and why we've got you on the show today. It is mapping your way to success. Yes. Because you have done this with your children and you've implemented it in them and we've seen them flourish. Yes. And now you're doing it on yourself. You're trying to invest in yourself. You've got your businesses. You're going to be launching a new business soon. And it's just all very exciting at the moment.
Yes.
So tell us some tips, because I think some of them seem obvious, but if you don't sit and think about it, you don't know them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's very easy just to do things and not realise it. I mean, we had the conversation earlier, didn't we? And something struck a chord with you, and then you said stuff to me, and neither of us would actually realised it. But yeah, I think the main thing to think of in the beginning is actually, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want out of life? You know, you can be happy being a mum, and that's absolutely fine. Or you might want to be a mum doing a little bit extra. But I think the main thing for me, and why I created Absolute Life System, and why I'm going on to the other project that's happening at the moment, is it's about you. And I think we forget, as anybody, whatever lifestyle you lead, I think you actually forget who you are, what you want, where you come from, who you are in here. And we get wrapped up in everything else, and then we actually do forget us. And if we find that strength within us, then we start to flourish.
I'm so happy as well you said about, if you want to be a mum, because I think a lot of the time as well, and I'm quite self-conscious about this, is like, I'm always like, go and do this, go and do that, start your own business. But if you are happy being a stay-at-home mum, that is a massive job in itself.
What is the biggest thing in the world that any woman can do? And that is to be a mum, and that's whether you've given birth yourself, you're a step mum, you know, you adopt, whatever. You know, the fact that you are nurturing children, even the ladies that work in nurseries, the men that work in the schools, if you are nurturing children, that is such a gift to give. And to actually want to be able to do that is fantastic. But then it's also, maybe it's time to move on to something else. But if it's not, I chose to do lots of little jobs because I actually wanted to be at home with the children. But as they've grown up, they don't need me anymore. It's time for me to spread my wings. But it doesn't mean to say I'm doing it the right way. Everybody's got a right to do it how they want to do it.
Exactly.
This is my choice.
Never feel like, what's that word, put off by if other mums are going out there working as well. Because
definitely. And I think one thing, one thing to say as well is perception plays a big part in everything. And this is where I work on people's confidence as well. I've been in that situation where I've been at home and been mummy and just doing what I needed to do, and I felt very intimidated by business women. Because, and I think, well, they're doing the business, they've got their children, they're doing this, they're doing that. Why? Oh gosh, and that was my lack of confidence. And that was my perception of them being these go-getter women who didn't have a care in the world. And you know what? Those women actually do have problems as well. They probably, you know, we've all got something in us. But it's the perception of how people see other people, and really these
high-flying businessmen might be looking at you if you're staying at home with all the children, thinking, "Oh, like look how amazing they're doing! They've got the dinner on the table," you know. So
that's it, and that's why it's so important to take time out, just to stop.
Exactly.
And breathe.
Oh, I like this. Okay, so stop and breathe. Have a goal. What else do we need to do?
What else do we need to do? We need to acknowledge how great we actually are.
This is I think a lot of us just don't ever do this.
All right, we whiz around doing X, Y, and Z and A, B, and C. But you know what? I would actually suggest that sometimes that we should all just sit down and write a list of exactly what we do in a day, and realise how many jobs you actually do in a day.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. Actually, you're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of us as mums forget this.
Yeah, definitely.
About like all the stuff we do.
Yeah. And, you know, is it any surprise why you're so tired at the end of the day? Because you've been amazing all day, and it's hard to keep going.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep going.
That is so true. Like sometimes, I don't know if you've ever done this when I know your children are older now, but sometimes I'll be reading to my son at night. I'll put him to bed and I'll be like, oh, let me just lie next to him and close my eyes. And then I fall asleep for 2 hours and I'm like, what the hell just happened?
I did that last night. I actually went up to sit down for 5 minutes, and 2 hours later, I actually woke up about midnight. I woke up.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that says that.
And I think that's the other thing. We've all got to realise that none of us are perfect at all. And we all do the sleeps, the little sneaky things, the exhausting, the resenting it. You know, we're all human. Nobody is perfect.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I like that. So write a list of all the stuff you do.
List of all the things and say well done to yourself.
Yeah, say well done to yourself. Pat on the back. We'll hashtag that. Yes. Pat yourself on the back.
Absolutely.
Mums.
Yes.
In terms of, and I think you've done this with your children in terms of mapping their success, is look at successful people in their field and take the steps and figure out how those, like Beyonce, how did she get there, and try and get in that same crowd of people. Is that right? Is that how you kind of...
Yeah, I think the thing to remember is two things that have just come to my mind. Success is not just about making a fortune and being wherever you want to be, but success to me is also about are you the person that helps somebody in the street as opposed to walking past them?
Yeah.
You know, lead by example on the things like that.
Yeah.
But with my two, you know, like my son wanted to be a footballer. Okay, so where do we go to start with the footballing? So, and he was little, and so it was like, okay, so let's see what other parents who are a couple of years older are doing. Now, you've got to remember the people who have made it to where they want to make it, they had to learn from someone as well. So you're not copying, because somebody else has done it before you anyway. But you know, with the internet, the power of the internet, Googling is just amazing. How do I become blah blah blah?
Yeah.
What do I do? Where do I find such and such? And Googling is amazing, and just asking. And the biggest thing that for anything is ask the people that already know, because I think, and this comes back to the confidence, because for a long time I felt silly asking people things that maybe I should have known, but if I don't know, then how am I going to find out?
Exactly.
So it was just about being brave.
Yeah. And a lot of the time when you ask someone, they are willing to help.
Definitely.
They're not going to think, when someone asks me a question, I'm like, oh, thanks for asking me a question. Of course I'll help you do that. And yet, like you said, like YouTube and Google are amazing.
Oh,
like I always go on YouTube and Google, like I watch so much business documentaries to see how people started with nothing and how they've created these built these empires.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the biggest, little tip.
Oh, we love the little tips.
One of the biggest things, and this really, really worked for me, is if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. Yeah. So if you ask and the answer's no, then you've lost nothing anyway. So it's just like, you know, just expect it. Look for the no's, and when you get the yeses, yes.
Exactly, yes. No, but it's true, and keep on going, because I ask people stuff constantly, all the time. I've been rejected by so many different companies. Even if I was asked, I wanted a mentor recently, and I was asking people, and loads of people were like, oh, sorry, I'm really busy. Yeah. Finally, this one woman was like, oh, I've never mentored anyone, but I'll give it a go. She went, I'm not sure how I can help you. And now she's my mentor. I talk to her on the phone once a month, and she's been so instrumental in just pushing myself forward. But that's just be brave and ask someone. Who cares if they're going to say no?
And
just
the other thing as well, if you do ask somebody and the answer is no, they're actually still going to remember you, because you've actually put yourself in front of them, or via email or whatever, so they will actually know you. And you never know, at some point they might think, oh, remember blah blah blah, and it'll come back to you.
Lisa actually reminded me of that. So the woman who's my mentor now, I did actually ask her about 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
And she was really busy then. She was like, I don't even think she responded to me. And then I literally emailed her this year, and she was like, yeah. Brilliant. So, and the same person.
And keep pushing.
Exactly.
Keep trying. Just don't be scared of knockbacks. Yeah. No matter what walk of life you're in, or if it's for your children or for yourself, just by being that little bit braver, And the feeling of when it happens is so good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that outweighs, it's all about balance, and that outweighs the feeling of having a knockback, because it really isn't the end of the world, because if you hadn't have asked, you'd have had a no anyway.
And it makes you more confident as well.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're getting no constantly, become okay. And then you get a yes, you're like, what? Someone said yes.
Yeah.
And then it gives you that confidence to keep going and ask someone else or learn whatever it is. So
I think as well, another big thing is like, you know, you want to get to a certain place. How are you going to get there? Try not to ask yourself how. Because you get to the point where you know what to do, and the doorways will naturally start to open. Whereas if you constantly think about the final end result, you can have it as your goal, and that's your vision, and you can imagine where you want to be and what you want to do for yourself or your children. But if you constantly panic about how you're going to get there, you're going to be worrying too much, putting too much energy into the how. Whereas, you know, for example, you know, when we first met, I'm going to be truthful, I hadn't done this, and now I'm doing it, and I'm loving it.
But this is the thing, like, Lisa's being brave and just putting herself out there, and she's not scared to ask questions.
No.
She was like, well, how do we film? Like, here, I'll take some footage. We've got, like, the camera here and the lights and the mic. But she just came and she's like, I'm going to do this.
Just do it.
And she's doing it.
And can I point out, I've also got my own little camera up there as well.
So she's learning. She's like filming this, filming you, Yeah,
that's it. It's just giving it a whirl, and if it works, it's great.
I know, obviously, Mum to Millionaire is all about like excelling in business, but also your life is, you know, if someone's goal is to have like that happy home, it might not be building that massive empire. What can we all do just to make sure we reach that goal?
I think the biggest thing to do is actually acknowledge how you feel from within. So if I've done it myself, if I want to just have that time at home and I want to feel happy within my home, I will spend a little time giving my house a little bit of love, lighting some candles, having a bath, just acknowledging what makes you happy. And if you are, you know, you're like excelling in your business, are you happy what you're doing within your business? And take note of that little voice inside. We've always got that voice, you know, that have you ever had that time when someone's asked you, you know, do you want to go to such and such on Saturday night? And inside you're thinking, no, I really don't want to go. And you're going, yes, and you find yourself cancelling. You should have.
There's a mental note. If I ever ring Lisa now.
Yes. So just listen to that voice, and actually acknowledge what that voice is saying. So I think as women, we go around and around doing so many things for other people that we actually forget to listen to ourselves. So whatever walk of life you're in, wherever you want to go, is it the right thing? Literally ask yourself, does it sit right? Take 10 minutes, sit down, just stop and just really feel what you're feeling. Because I think we forget to actually acknowledge ourselves so many times, and that's when we become unhappy, because we're all so feminine creatures, whether we're wearing tracksuits or office suits. You know, we have got that touch of femininity around.
I was just laughing because I was thinking, no one knows what we're wearing.
That's it.
We could just be wearing our nice little tops
pajamas.
and thanks, we've got pajama tops on.
So yeah.
But that is, do you know, your tips are so amazing. Like, you're amazing. You've raised amazing children, and I can't wait. I know we can't mention it now, but your new business, which you're going to launch soon, is just. I don't think there's anything out there like it.
I would like to see it if there is, because as far as I don't think there is, and it's
people are going to think, why? What can't you just tell? We can't tell you.
But I think as well, everything I work towards is about acknowledgement of who you are, no matter where you are. And it all starts from within. It really does.
Oh, this I feel like emotional now. It starts from within you.
It does.
But it's so true. It really is. Where can we find out more about you, Lisa?
Thank you. You can find me at www.absolutelifesystem.com, or if you'd like to email me, it's lisa@absolutelifesystem.com. I also have a Facebook page as well, which is Absolute Life System. So feel free to join me. Give me a email or message me on the Facebook page. It'd be lovely to hear from you.
And I'm going to force Lisa to do some Facebook Live videos as well.
I've got to learn that as well, haven't I? No,
she'll be fun. You can do it. She's very good, isn't she? Put a thumbs up on this video if you think Lisa's amazing.
Thanks, guys.
And if you want Lisa's top productivity tip for mums, make sure you go over to the blog. And I'll also put all of Lisa's contact details if you've missed anything she's just said. mumtomillionaire.com/episode 50. How amazing was that episode? Hope that has inspired you and remotivated you in your life, you really can map your own way to success. You really can do that. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mum to Millionaire. And remember, if you want to get more motivation on a daily basis, just follow us on Instagram, search for Mum to Millionaire. And remember, you deserve to be so successful. Just focus on being happy every single day. Do you realise that you are actually amazing? I don't think you've realised that yet, have you? Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week on the Mum to Millionaire podcast, where we have a really successful beauty YouTuber coming on the show. She is called Chanel Ambrose, and she's going to teach you how to build a beauty brand from scratch. I'll see you then. Bye.